I'm Douglas Massi, and welcome to our 2-Minute Tuesday edition of Final Expense Trainer. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I use what we call the 3 reasons final expense presentation, which is the presentation that I still use today, and it's the presentation which most of the top producing final expense agent use, and it was the same presentation that I used when I first started, when I wrote over $1 million of annualized premium during those first 3 years that I was in the business as a final expense agent working final expense direct mail leads. But first, I'm going to ask that you hit that thumbs up button right now, guys. YouTube doesn't even want to show our videos unless they know you're checking us out. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do that now. Dude, we're putting out new final expense sales training videos on a weekly basis. Here's a tip. If you're in the need of final expense sales training, we highly recommend that you watch our playlist called FE Training 101. It's actually linked right there in the corner. So after you watch this video, you can just come back to this part and just click on that link. If you'd like a copy of our appointment setting super file, you're going to want to hang around all the way to the end of the video anyways. And what I'll do at that point is I'll share with you exactly how to get a copy for yourself. This file has scripts for calling final expense direct mail leads, Facebook leads, and final expense telemarket leads. And it's got a really good script for overcoming any objection that might be thrown your way by any prospect that you end up speaking with while you're calling to set your final expense appointments. The 3 reasons final expense presentation is designed specifically so that within like the first 3 to 5 minutes of your presentation, you can get the prospect to admit that they do have a need for the insurance or are at least interested in buying final expense insurance. The way that I do it and the way that all of our top producing final expense agents do it allows us to find out who the beneficiary is by name also, so that we can use their name, in order to make it easier for us to close the sale, especially when the prospect gives us some type of objection to overcome. When I sit down to make my final expense presentation, I say something like this: Jane, Joe, yeah, I know you mailed in the little card to our office requesting information on these special final expense benefits. And guys, I've been doing this for a long time, and long enough to know that everybody that I meet fills out these cards for really one of 3 reasons. The first may be that you've never prepaid for your burial or your cremation, you know, the funeral stuff, or that you have no insurance that will take care of it all when you die. The second reason, well, maybe you do have one of those little burial insurance policies, but it's probably just not enough. So maybe you're hoping to add to your insurance, if it's affordable, of course. And the third reason, may be that you've, already taken care of everything, but you just want to leave a little money to someone in the family, or maybe you just want to make sure that the family doesn't have to come out of the pocket for anything. So guys, of these 3, where do you fit in? This is when you want to shut up and just let them react. If they don't pick an option, maybe they're just not sure or don't quite understand, I'll ask them something like, well, have you guys ever had or started any type of insurance like this before? Now you have your in. Well, I should say you're in to move forward with your presentation. If they say, oh, I've got this already taken care of, then what I'll say is, well, Joe, I know you filled out the card for a reason. Were you maybe thinking to add to your insurance, if it's easily affordable, of course? When you do this right and say it exactly the way I just said it, they will usually say, yeah, I guess if it's easily affordable, sure, why not? Now you got a good reason to move forward with your final expense presentation. The next thing that I'm going to say is, so you guys just want to make sure that when one of you die, or when the first to go goes, that the other isn't financially burdened and stuck trying to figure out what to do to take care of everything, right? They'll always say, yeah, of course. If it's a single person, not a couple that you're sitting down with, I'll ask, well, tell me, Janet, when you pass away, who is the person that's going to have to come here and take care of all this? They'll usually say something like, oh, it's my sister or my daughter or my cousin in Colorado, whatever it is. Always, always, always ask, well, what's his name? Now that you have the beneficiary's name, if you're good and you're actually a pretty talented closer or talented final expense agent, you can bring up the beneficiary by name throughout the presentation. And when you're closing the sales to effectively minimize the chances of them giving you an objection at the end of your final expense sales presentation. For example, what I might say when getting into the second part of the presentation is, well, Janet, Joe, I got great news for you and your daughter, Sarah. What I do is a lot different than most insurance agents that might come through your door and speak with you about something like this. I don't work for one of those big companies. Therefore, I don't have to push an expensive insurance policy. You see, guys, what I do that's different is I work with a group of senior advocates, all licensed right here in Florida. That's important because by me being part of this group, it gives us access to the best price companies in the nation. And that's how we're going to be able to find something that you guys can easily afford. So, you know, like you said, the idea is when you pass, your daughter Sarah has the money to take care of all your final needs and doesn't have to worry about coming out of pocket. You see what I did there, right? For a copy of the appointment setting super file, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. And if you'd like some information on joining our final expense sales team, which gives you access to first year commission starting at 100% and even higher, along with fixed cost direct mail leads, our final expense sales training platform, all kinds of other leads, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, guys, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get on out there, Pilgrim, and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.